What if the way you've been having sex your entire life is the very reason you're feeling alone, disconnected, or even ashamed now? Let me introduce you to Franklin. At 74, he was a kind, retired architect who had recently come out of a long, loveless marriage. After years of silence and solitude, he met someone new, someone who made him feel alive again. One night, they tried to be intimate, but Franklin's body didn't respond the way it used to. He panicked, made an excuse, and left. She never heard from him again, not because he didn't care, but because he thought something inside him was broken forever. I'm Dr. James Rowe, a men's health specialist who has spent over 30 years helping men just like Franklin rediscover what true intimacy really means, emotionally, physically, and mentally. See, most men believe that their sex life naturally fades with age, that it's normal to lose that spark, to pull away from connection. But the truth is far more powerful and far more dangerous if left misunderstood. In this video, I'm going to reveal 5 sex secrets that older men wish they had learned earlier, and the hidden costs they paid for not knowing. These aren't bedroom tips. These are life-changing truths that could save your health, your relationships, and even your life. And if you care about living fully, not just surviving, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon. Every week, we bring honest, life-saving advice for men over 60 who still believe in strength, love, and second chances. Secret number 1. Spontaneity doesn't work anymore, and that's not a failure. It's wisdom. For most of his life, Franklin believed that intimacy should just happen. No schedule, no conversation, just chemistry and timing. Back in his 30s and 40s, that belief worked. Desire matched ability. His body responded instantly. It felt natural, masculine, even thrilling. There was a certain pride in not having to plan for anything. But that was then. After 60, everything began to shift. His energy declined, medications entered the picture, and stress crept in. Yet Franklin never updated the script in his mind. So when he found himself with a woman he truly cared about, he expected the moment to unfold just like it used to. When it didn't, when his body hesitated, he froze, ashamed, and walked away. And that's where so many older men go wrong. They cling to the myth that sex after 60 should still be spontaneous. But biology says otherwise. Testosterone levels decrease. Blood vessels don't dilate as quickly. Nerves become less responsive. And the pressure to perform on demand only makes things worse by increasing anxiety and cortisol, both of which suppress arousal. The truth? Spontaneity is no longer your ally. Preparation is. Planning doesn't kill the magic. It protects it. It gives your body time to warm up, your mind time to relax, and your partner time to feel safe and connected. Intimacy becomes something you create together, not something that just happens. When men finally let go of the old standard, that they must be ready anytime, anywhere, they begin to experience something far deeper than just physical satisfaction. They find peace, connection, and dignity. Franklin's biggest mistake wasn't in losing spontaneity. It was in believing that losing it meant he had lost himself. Gentlemen, if any of this sounds familiar, let me know in the comments. Type 1 if you've felt this way before, or 0 if you disagree. Let's break the silence together. Secret number 2. Your erection is a window into your heart. Health. Franklin didn't think much of it at first. He chalked up his performance issues to nerves, maybe age. It happens, he told himself. But what he didn't know, and what most older men are never told, is this. When your body struggles to perform, your heart might be struggling too. You see, an erection isn't just about desire. It's a vascular event. It depends on healthy blood vessels, proper circulation, and stable cardiovascular function. The arteries in the penis are actually much smaller than those in the heart. That means if there's plaque buildup or narrowing, those smaller vessels will show it first, often long before you feel chest pain or fatigue. Dr. James Rowe remembers a man named Walter, 68, who came in for what he thought was a minor problem: weaker erections. He laughed it off during the visit, saying, "Guess I'm just getting old." But Dr. Rowe ran some tests anyway, and discovered Walter had a 90% blockage in one of his main coronary arteries. 3 days later, he was in surgery. That visit may have saved his life. Erectile dysfunction is often the earliest warning sign of cardiovascular disease. It can point to high blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol issues, all of which put your heart, brain, and overall longevity at serious risk. The tragedy? Most men ignore it. Or worse, they feel embarrassed. They buy over-the-counter pills, hide it from their partners, or pretend nothing's wrong, until something truly is. But if you listen to your body, you gain time. Time to change your diet, adjust medications, get screenings, and reclaim not just your sex life, but your future. So here's the truth, gentlemen. Your body isn't betraying you. It's whispering for help. Are you willing to listen? Type heart in the comments if this opened your eyes, because that awareness alone could save your life. Secret number 3. Intimacy is emotional medicine, not just physical touch. Franklin thought intimacy was just about the body, until his heart told him otherwise. After that failed attempt at reconnecting, he didn't just feel physically disappointed. He felt invisible. Days passed, then weeks, and something inside him started to wither. He stopped calling friends. He avoided gatherings. And the worst part? He began to believe he no longer mattered. What Franklin didn't realize, and what so many older men never hear, is that intimacy isn't just about sex. It's about connection. And connection is survival. When a man loses regular physical affection, whether through touch, a hug, a caress, or even a shared laugh, his body begins to react. Studies show that chronic emotional isolation increases cortisol, the stress hormone, which leads to elevated blood pressure, weakened immunity, poor sleep, and cognitive decline. Over time, that quiet loneliness doesn't just break the heart, it damages the brain. Dr. Rowe recalls a patient named Martin, a 72-year-old widower. He told Dr. Rowe, "What's the point of all this at my age?" But beneath the bravado was a deep ache. Martin missed feeling held. He missed laughter in bed. He missed being someone's someone. That longing isn't weakness, it's human. And when men push those feelings aside, when they tell themselves affection doesn't matter anymore, they begin to starve emotionally. It's a slow fade that leads to depression, anxiety, and a loss of identity. But here's the good news. It's never too late to reconnect. Whether it's through a meaningful conversation with your partner, reaching for their hand, or simply allowing yourself to be seen, every step toward emotional connection is a step toward healing. So if you've felt numb or distant lately, ask yourself, when was the last time I let myself truly feel? And if this secret spoke to you, drop the word connection in the comments. Let's remind each other that presence is powerful at any age. Secret number 4. Porn quietly rewires your brain and destroys real intimacy. Franklin didn't mean for it to become a habit. After his confidence was shaken, he stopped reaching out. He convinced himself he was better off alone. But the loneliness lingered, and like many men in silence, he turned to what felt easy: porn. At first, it seemed harmless, a quick escape, a way to feel something again without risking rejection. But over time, it did more harm than he ever imagined. What Franklin didn't realize is that pornography, especially when used regularly in older age, literally rewires the brain. It floods your reward system with dopamine, creates artificial expectations, and detaches arousal from real human connection. The more you consume, the more your brain craves novelty, intensity, and control, none of which exists in true, messy, loving intimacy. Dr. Rowe has seen it repeatedly. Men who stop initiating with their partners, men who say their wife no longer excites them, not because she changed, but because their brain no longer knows how to respond to what's real. One patient, Elliot, 70, told him, "I don't feel anything when she touches me anymore, but I feel everything when I watch a screen." And that, Dr. Rowe says, is the quiet tragedy. Because it's not just about what you're seeing, it's about what you're no longer feeling. Over time, that screen becomes a substitute for affection, trust, and vulnerability. Marriages suffer, communication breaks down, and men begin to feel more alone than ever. But there's hope. Letting go of porn isn't easy, especially if it's been a long-standing crutch. But with honesty, support, and sometimes professional guidance, men can reclaim their emotional and physical responsiveness and rediscover the deep, imperfect beauty of human connection. If this part of the message hits close to home, you're not alone. Type "freedom" in the comments if you're ready to break free from the screen and return to something real. Secret number 5. The most dangerous moment is when you try to prove you're still young. Franklin had started to understand his body better, until one night, everything unraveled. He was feeling good again. He had reconnected with an old friend, and after a glass of wine, or maybe two, he decided to prove that he still had what it takes. No preparation, no pacing, just raw pride. What followed was terrifying. His heart raced, his chest tightened, and within minutes, he collapsed. Franklin survived that night, but many men don't. Dr. Rowe remembers another patient, Leonard, 76, who wasn't so lucky. He had skipped his blood pressure meds, taken an over-the-counter enhancement pill, and drank more than he should have. In his mind, it was a romantic comeback. But in reality, it was a cardiovascular time bomb. Leonard suffered cardiac arrest in a hotel room. His partner did everything she could, but help came too late. This isn't just a tragic anecdote, it's a warning. The real danger for older men isn't feeling weak. It's trying to feel young at all costs. When ego replaces wisdom, when men ignore their body's signals to chase some outdated image of masculinity, they take risks that can cost them their health, their dignity, and even their life. Sex after 60 isn't about proving anything. It's not a performance. It's a connection. And when you treat your partner like an audience instead of a companion, intimacy turns into pressure, and pressure turns into danger. So here's the truth. Your body doesn't need to perform like it did at 30. It needs to be respected at 70. The strongest men are not the ones who push through. They're the ones who pause, prepare, and choose presence over pride. If you've ever felt the urge to prove yourself in the bedroom, stop and ask, is this about love or fear? If this message resonated, type respect in the comments. Because the greatest proof of strength is knowing your limits. Conclusion: this isn't the end. It's your new beginning. By now, you've heard the 5 sex secrets older men wish they had known earlier. But these aren't just secrets. They're wake-up calls, moments of clarity, turning points that separate those who drift quietly into regret from those who choose to rise with wisdom, strength, and purpose. Let's remind ourselves of what we've learned. You don't have to rely on spontaneity anymore. Preparation is maturity, not weakness. You must treat your body's signals, especially erectile changes, as warnings, not embarrassments. You need emotional closeness, because touch isn't just affection, it's medicine. You must free your mind here from artificial stimulation. Porn doesn't satisfy, it steals. And above all, you must stop proving you're still young and start owning the power of who you are now. Franklin's story, like so many others, reminds us that aging isn't the end of intimacy. It's the beginning of something deeper, but only if you choose it. You don't need to disappear into the background of your own life. You're still here. Your presence matters. Your heart still beats. Your touch still heals. Your love still has value. And if this video spoke to even a small part of you, if it made you reflect, breathe deeper, or feel less alone, I invite you to take one more step. Comment below. Share your truth. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon, because every week we talk about the things no one else will, for men who refuse to fade away. This isn't about surviving. It's about living boldly, with heart, honor, and human connection. And it begins today, with you.